Hello, everybody. It's Adam with the Pattaya News, and we are right here at What's Poppin' in Pattaya. Today is November 15th, 2023, at least when we're filming this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we have some major stories for you, from proposals of Chinese police patrolling with Thai police, as well as proposals for bars to check alcohol of patrons before they leave, and if they're over the legal limit, stop them from driving and get them taxis? Really? We have those and some other major stories for you, as it's been a crazy week in news. But first, let's talk about some of the events that are coming up this weekend right here in Pattaya. First off, happy Diwali. We know we have many Indian readers and viewers, and we thank you for watching us and tuning in. And so here in Pattaya City this week, there's going to be a major Diwali festival running through the weekend right on Pattaya Beach. It's going to be located at the Central Klang intersection. It's going to have all sorts of things, such as exhibits on the culture of Diwali, of course, music, food, dance, and fun, as well as, since it's a festival of lights, many, many lights. We'd like to invite you to head on down to Pattaya Beach this weekend to check that out. The second major event that's taking place this weekend is called the Lula Festival. That's going to be taking place on Jomtien Beach on Soi 12 around the Now Hotel. That's also going to feature a variety of concerts, such as from well-known Thai artist Gavin D, as well as a model contest from the Lula Pretties, and all sorts of food and a market that will be running from the 17th to the 19th on this weekend. We can't wait for you to go down and check that out. And of course, next week is a fireworks festival, which is probably one of Pattaya's biggest events of the year, along with Songkran and the Thai New Year. We can't wait to see you at the fireworks. Now, let's get into these stories. It's been a crazy, crazy week. First up, now, a proposal of Chinese police to patrol tourism cities along with the Thai police. Now, when this proposal came up earlier this week, which was first announced by the director of the Tourism Authority, it did not go down well. In fact, many Thais literally lost their minds on social media complaining about the proposal, stating that it could, in their opinion, ruin Thailand as a sovereign country, etc. Now, we'd like to note that this has been done in other countries, including Western countries like Italy, which has now been canceled by Chinese police before. And the official reason for this proposal was that by having Chinese police here, it would raise confidence of Chinese tourists, whose confidence has been stricken by a number of events recently, such as a movie called No More Bets, in which Chinese tourists go to a country in Southeast Asia, not specifically Thailand, and get abducted and forced to work in a illegal gambling call center. There was also, of course, a mass shooting that took place tragically at Siam Paragon in Bangkok, in which a Chinese tourist was killed. Now, these have not helped Chinese tourism, so this proposal came up hoping that it would make people feel more confident. Instead, it backfired, and as a result, the Prime Minister and all sorts of government officials and the head of the police of Thailand have said, this is not going to happen, calm down, we're not going to execute this, we're only going to be sharing information with the Chinese police, which they do with police from all over the world. So for now, there's not going to be any patrols, even though some Pattaya business owners stated they thought it was a good idea because of the differences in culture and differences of languages with Chinese tourists. But for now, you will not be seeing any Chinese police patrolling the streets of Pattaya. So hopefully you're reassured by that. Next up, bars checking alcohol of customers. This has been proposed by the Health Ministry and the Health Minister. And it's part of the fact that as of December 15th, bars will be allowed to be open till 4 o'clock a.m. in certain zones in tourism areas. Now, let's be real, and we said this last week. Quite honestly, many bars are already open well past the legal closing time. So a lot of these ideas are just being brought up by people trying to make others who are not living in these areas feel safe, just being realistic. But the proposal that's come up is that bars and entertainment venues be responsible for checking the alcohol levels of patrons when they leave a venue. And if somebody is over the legal alcohol limit, the venue is then responsible for calling the patron a taxi or getting them help to get them home and making sure they don't drive. Obviously, this proposal has not gone down well with many bars and business and entertainment owners, stating that it would be impossible. As somebody who's managed a bar themselves before, I can tell you, when somebody's had a bit too much to drink, asking them or trying to prevent them from doing something or trying to force them to do an alcohol test would probably be as popular as trying to convince people to do COVID tests at bars, which also did not go over well during the COVID period. For now, though, they say they're going to move ahead with this proposal. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if it's enforced. Tell us what you think in the comments. Do you think there's any way of this being enforced properly at all? Really? For the next thing that we've got for you, it is now winter in Thailand. Meanwhile, it's so hot I'm sweating as I'm filming this outside. Winter officially began yesterday, November 14th. So enjoy the winter here. You'd probably much rather be enjoying it here than you would in many of your home countries, especially me from the Washington, D.C. area and some of the snowfall that they've had in the past few years. So next up, speaking of your home countries, another proposal has been brought up, which we think many of you will be excited by. This is actually good news for many of our viewers. And this proposal is to allow a 60-day visa waiver, visa on arrival, for people from most European countries as a start. Now, they did not say that they'd be including America or Australia. That was a common question. And again, it's just a proposal. There's nothing in stone, nothing guaranteed this is going to happen. And some critics have said that they waited a bit too long to bring this up. This follows successful waivers and exemptions for countries like India, Taiwan, and of course, Russia over the past month and a half or so. So now they're stating they want to encourage Europeans in particular to be able to stay longer over the winter season. And as a result, they are officially proposing to the Thai cabinet and government to allow them to stay for 60 days versus 30 days. And this would actually allow them to stay for 90 days as they could get a 30-day extension. Will this happen? Probably, actually. But right now, there's no official answer on this, and there won't be probably until at least the next Thai cabinet meeting next week. We'll keep you updated on this, as we know this is a major story of interest to many folks out there. Of course, one of the big reasons for tourism being down is that limited flights and flight prices, especially from Europe, are still very expensive. So a lot of business owners don't feel that this is going to be the magic bullet, so to speak, that's going to boost tourism, but it will help with many people, especially many of our viewers and readers. Last thing that I have for you today is there was another tragic shooting that took place in Bangkok in which two rival groups of teenagers that attend rival colleges got into a gunfight on a public street, and accidentally a woman, a teacher, who was at an ATM withdrawing cash, was struck by a stray bullet and killed. This teacher was beloved by her students, and this has really, once again, just like the mass shooting I mentioned at Siam Paragon, brought a lot of scrutiny on guns in Thailand. Now, Anutin Charnvirakul, the former public health minister and now the Minister of the Interior, probably arguably the most powerful ministry in Thailand, has proposed basically banning guns in public for the public and allowing only government officials to have guns in public in Thailand. This has not gone over real well either, and a lot of critics have pointed out the fact that in nearly every single one of these recent situations that has occurred in Thailand and shootings, it's been because of illegal guns. And statistics that have been released by various agencies and groups have shown that about 90% of the gun ownage in Thailand is not owned legally. People have basically got them illegally. And most of these incidents, it's also worth noting that some of the major mass shootings, such as one at the Terminal 21 in Karat a couple years ago, were actually conducted by government officials, like former army or police. So many people state that by cracking down on gun laws, it's not going to resolve this problem. What they actually need to crack down on is illegal possession of firearms. Tell us what you think in comments. We always want to hear from you. As always, thank you to our sponsors at Rage Gym here in Pattaya, and we thank you. Have a great week, everybody.